Hello, everybody. I'm Zach Miller, and this is the history of the Dallas Stars. When learning about the Dallas Stars, the history of the Dallas Stars, it is important to consider the Minnesota North Stars, the beginning of the franchise, the legend of Mike Modano, and the current state of the franchise. The Minnesota North Stars, the beginning of the Dallas Stars actually begins in Bloomington, Minnesota in 1967, was the first year of the Minnesota North Stars. The North Stars were a successful team in the beginning with an excited fan base. They even made the playoffs in their first season. The team actually began to suffer, and eventually ownership began exploring relocation opportunities. They started losing, and the fan base lost interest for a while. So the ticket sales went down, and so they started exploring moving the team, despite two appearances in the Stanley Cup. The move to Dallas in 1991, ownership of the then Minnesota North Stars began exploring their options for relocation of the franchise. They initially looked at Anaheim, but that eventually became the Anaheim Ducks, who are still around. It actually took former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach convincing the ownership to come to Dallas. He convinced them that the fan base in Dallas would take to the team pretty well, and he was right. The Dallas fans quickly adapted the team and have continued to support the franchise. The Minnesota fans were not happy to lose their team, but eventually in the year 2000, they got a team back in Minnesota, and that actually became the Minnesota Wild, who are also still around today. The legend of Mike Modano. Mike Modano was a talented youth hockey player and was chosen first overall in the NHL entry draft. Modano was then transferred along with the team to Dallas and helped sell Texas on the NHL, leading the Dallas Stars to winning their division in the 1996-97 season and winning the conference finals in 1998, and then finally winning it all in 1999. That's him holding up the Stanley Cup trophy. Modano led the team in scoring throughout the playoffs, even with a broken wrist. Suffered in the game 2 of the finals. Modano played an enormous role in bringing Dallas its first Stanley Cup, and for that, he'll always be considered a legend of this franchise. Yep, he'll be considered a legend through all of hockey, but especially with Dallas. The current state of the franchise: the Stars are coming off a year last year where they went all the way to the conference finals and actually lost in Game 7 of the conference finals in double overtime to the Blues. They are bringing back a very young roster, very young, talented roster, including Miro Heiskanen and Roope Hintz. They also have a veteran captain in Jamie Benn, who's been playing with a stud, Tyler Seguin, for a very long time. They've developed a lot of chemistry. They also have Ben Bishop in net. He's their goalie. He was outstanding last year. The Stars also added veteran depth in this offseason by acquiring guys like Joe Pavelski. He's been a veteran in the league for a long time. He's also a veteran of the playoffs. So that was the big thing that they were lacking last year, was people who had experience in the playoffs. So the Stars are looking to build off a deep playoff run last year and go even deeper this year, looking to win the whole thing. If you ask the players, they consider themselves one game off winning the Stanley Cup because they lost to the Blues, and the Blues ended up winning it all. So they're looking forward to this season, and I'm looking forward to watching. Go Stars.